show me which finger. You know, is it the little finger? Is it that finger? Is it our favourite finger? No. Is it the index? No, don't be silly. How'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you make that noise? How'd you make things happen when you snap your fingers? Oh, I don't know. Hey, folks. How are you all? Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. I'm just trying to learn how to snap my fingers because I can't do it. You know, most people can click and with rhythm, with music, you know, and it sounds really cool and it looks really cool as they're dancing and all that kind of stuff. Like, but I'm like just this idiot, like this. All I get is a friction burn, no noise, just a friction burn, and then oh, that hurt. It shouldn't hurt, should it? How come people go like whoosh, and it's like a whip crack, and mine just goes singe. Arrgh. What am I doing wrong? Is it the thumb? Is it that finger? Is it that finger? Is it the entire hand? I just don't know. So you, Infinity Stones, me ass. Even with them, I couldn't make a fucking click, clack, or a clock. Anyway, folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? I hope you're doing very well. And I hope you've seen Loki episode 1. Yeah, Disney Plus and Marvel, their new superhero or supervillain offshoot from that ever-expanding Marvel Cinematic Universe, now the Marvel TV Universe. I don't know, I lose track. Well, you folks all know I'm a big fan of Thor, and Thor, Chris Hemsworth's portrayal is just, I love it, I'm addicted to it. I've spoken about it before. But he's nothing without the counterbalance, the counterweight that is Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Tom Hiddleston's a great actor, he's a wonderful actor. Yes, James Bond gets mooted a bit, and I think he could do it. The way he bulked up for Kong Skull Island, which I think is a piece of shit movie, I can't stand it, or any of the new Kong stuff at all, forget it, and Godzilla, me ass. But and I don't think he's a good character in the film, but I like the way he looked in it, and it kind of gave me, well, okay, yeah. After being the night manager, when everyone thought, Bond, you're perfect for Bond. He does have it. He does have that charisma, that arrogance, the cocksure ability, you know, the screen command, and if he bulks up a little bit, he can do. I mean, all know he can dance. You ever seen James Bond dance? Only with a magnetic watch to get the zip down on the back of a lady's dress, you know. But he could do it, I think, certainly. But his signature role, which is always said, you know, this is the role that made my name, is playing Loki, the half brother, the sibling to Thor, and he's the God of Mischief. And this TV show, created by Michael, I'll put it down here somewhere, Michael Waldron, who also co-writes it, I think, as well. This show, just 6 episodes for season 1, but it's being greenlit for season 2, so no worries there. It's meant to explore this whole thing of mischief, because, as I say, Thor in the cinematic universe can't really exist perfectly without that counterweight, that duality of having his mischievous brother, who, they definitely love each other, but there's arrogance, jealousy, rage, envy, all of this, but the two can work together, but they still can't trust each other, or rather Thor can never totally trust Loki. And Tom Hiddleston's Machiavellian character, his mercurial character, and I use that advisedly because episode 1 aired on June the 9th, the month of my birthday. Geminis rule, but you can't fucking trust them, because they're all two-faced, shape-shifting entities. And that's what is perfect about the timing of the release of this show, because it fits in with the character of Loki so perfectly well. And I'm getting confused now, like Norse mythology. What did Stan Lee's comic books predate Norse mythology, and then the Norse just adapted them for their own legends and folklore? Because they just seem to have run in tandem for all of our lives, don't they? And oh, by the way, cheers, y'all. But yeah, Geminis and their whippoorwill sensibilities, their wit, their arrogance, their brashness, their deception. You know, we're known for it, and I think that ties in so well with what the character of Loki really is. And this show seems to be the show which is going to really explore all of that. How he comes to be, what drives him, what his purpose is, his grand design. Because where this picks up, okay, let's, by the way, spoilers, hey, this is only episode 1, and in a nice little suspenseful glory, you can't binge it all at once. It's one of those where you've got to wait another week for the next episode, and I do kind of like that, because although it's frustrating, because I loved episode 1, and I couldn't wait to see more, that's the point, isn't it? So you're waiting, and it's old school, it's building up your, like, oh, what's going to happen next? And oh, I don't want to read nothing, I don't want to see any trailers for it. Oh, yes I do. Oh no, I've seen too much. But this is the kind of show where I don't think they can show you too much, because it twists and turns and back rolls and unfolds and unravels in such mysterious ways. So okay, let's get into this now. It's set after Avengers Endgame, where of course Loki, and the whole thing about Avengers Endgame, time travel, the multiverse, they've learned how to reverse what this purple-headed dude. Isn't it always the thing about these savage purple heads? They're always trying to rake damage somewhere. But so Loki manages to, although he kills him at the start of Avengers Infinity War, he gets killed. But Loki can take things back and get the Tesseract and disappear into another realm, another dimension. In this case, the Gobi Desert. And but because he's done that, he's incurred the wrath of the Time Variance Authority, the TVA, the massive TVA. Oh yeah. Which sounds like something which, in the UK we have to pay a TV license for our, to be bestowed the beauty and the integrity of the BBC. A bunch of fucking neophytes, a bunch of arrogant, egocentric fucking twats who fleece the money out of you, and by horrible sort of underhanded tactics purloin interviews with celebrities and royalty, and also cavort with paedophiles and seem to get away with murder all the time. The BBC is under so much scrutiny at the moment. How fucking dare you charge us to watch the drivel on your channel? Anyway, rant over. You see, Machiavellian, two-faced. Now I'm happy. I was terribly ranty a second ago, and that's the beauty of Loki. So, cheers. Because he's escaped, the TVA have caught up with him, and in a glorious moment of completely, what the fuck is going on here? These guys have arrived out another portal, and they've surrounded him, and like, you're coming with us. And he's like, I'm a god. I'm going nowhere with you. And like, he gets whacked in the face, and in a nice little sort of homage, a tribute to the 3D Dredd, Carl Urban as Judge Dredd, and he gets whacked in the gob, and for a long period of time his face just contorts, and he gets informed, yeah, what's happening to you right now can last infinity, but you're going to feel it in real time. And he's like, and he's whisked off through a portal into the TVA's headquarters, which is this sort of existing, well, we don't know where they exist, but they're outside of time, because these guys, like the Time Lords of Gallifrey, control time. They know time inside out, and they know the timelines that are meant to happen. You learn this as the episode goes on, and anyone who steps outside of that, you know, and in a really sort because Loki doesn't understand where the hell he is. He thinks this is just an illusion, isn't it? And he's in this Art Deco sort of also semi-German expressionistic sort of environment, a huge vast floating city somewhere with space cars and stuff going everywhere like that. But it's also very Art Deco and very period, also very 70s. It's got a great production design to it. These offices and like people scuttling about, clerics and stuff like just doing their job, and he's got no idea where he is or what's going on. Why the hell am I here? I am a god. And when he gets put on trial, basically, he goes like, yes, well, you think you're in control, but I'm in control of this. Ha! Nothing happens. Ha! It's not supposed to be like that. He gets informed, magic doesn't exist in this realm. So your Tesseract and all those Infinity Stones, which are just used as paperweights here. He finds a drawer full of Infinity Stones, and he gets told by Justice Clark, yeah, well, we get them all the time, and people just use them around as paperweights. And he looks around, and it's like a real awakening. My life has been driven by the search for power, the search for dominion, the search for like glory and infinite, glory and power. And I need these, and you guys just use them as paperweights because they're nothing. Where the hell am I? What is this place? I am a god! A god of what? Of mischief? Well, what is mischief? And again, I'm saying that, Chris Hemsworth and his portrayal as Thor is nothing without Tom Hiddleston to counterbalance it. In this show, you've got Tom Hiddleston obviously excelling again, witty, urbane, clever, sophisticated, feral, aggressive, and also very emotional as well. You've got that side of him, and the counterbalance here is what's his name? Owen Wilson. Luke Owen. You know the guy from the Sophology adverts? The guy with the wonky nose, his nose sort of goes like that. He's got that big dent. And it kind of makes a change seeing him. Not Owen Wilson. Is it Owen Wilson? I don't know. In a different timeline, I know all the answers to this. But right now, here and now, I haven't got a clue. I'm all at sea. And but he's Mobius M. Mobius. And he's the TVA super agent whose job is to track down all, the time variants who are really arch criminals and are the most dangerous. So if you step out of line in your time, they're going to come for you. But you have these time criminals who are committing stuff, obviously around the multiverse, because it's clearly all linked into the multiverse. Because this show is going to tie in somehow to Doctor Strange and his multiverse second movie, which we've hinted at all of this in the Marvel universe. So it's all going to come together. But coming together, this is the thing about this is like in Marvel comics and in Marvel movies or in any comic book movies, no character ever dies. They can always be brought back again. Always somehow vortexes, time holes, and parallel. Everyone can come back again. So that's how they're bringing Loki back. But they're also going to introduce a bit more of the mythos and what we need to know about the multiverse, because Doctor Strange is going to totally explore this. And I love all that. I love the cosmic angle to these things. Don't just keep it on air. Just do strange, bizarre things. Go everywhere, because there's no limit to what you can do. So he gradually learns that, hang on, you stepped out of line by nicking the Tesseract and changing the timeline, and basically you should have died. So he gets shown Owen Wilson. Oh, it's Owen Wilson, isn't it? God, I'm going to get this wrong. But let's call him Mobius. Wonky-nosed Mobius shows him footage. They have footage of what we've seen in the movies, which this Loki does not know about. He does not know about leading the Dark Elves in Thor: The Dark World, the wrong way, and then thereby killing his mother, Frigga. And he sees the death of Frigga, which he committed. But this Loki doesn't know he's done that. This Loki also doesn't know that he basically created the Avengers. His deeds, his acts created the Avengers. He gets taught this and shown this. He also will see his own death at the hands of this guy here. And it's a really emotional sequence in a show which is very, very quirky. Very, you're trying to find your feet in this bizarre world where these guys, in a very sort of Neil Gaiman, Gallifrey, and Terry Gilliam-esque sort of universe, with lots of hints of Philip K. Dick and the Adjustment Bureau, even Dark City and The Matrix. All of this, the fingers of all of these different elements and shows and stories infiltrate this, and you can see all how it fits together, but in a great new, colourful Marvel way, but with great characters. And Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, you know what? It is what it is. I can't remember. Mobius clearly likes Loki, but he's asking Loki a lot of the time in his interrogations. Loki can't move, by the way. He's got one of a bit like in Thor Ragnarok, you have that little thing on the back of the neck, just press a button, they're tasered to hell and back. Got this little collar on, so like if Loki tries to make a break for it or go for someone, one of these security guards or whatever, and just try to escape, just press a button, and like he gets stuck in a time loop, which exhausts him. And like if they move the chair, they put him back to where he was, but the chair isn't there anymore. Bang, he's going to fall on his back. Oh, sorry, I forgot I moved the chair and all this. But Mobius is actually very friendly towards him and wants to learn about Loki. Why are you the God of Mischief? Oh, it's because that's what I am. I'm a god, I'm mischief. But why? Why mischief? I don't see much mischief to what you've done. I see many escapes. I see a lot of sort of, aggravated semi-genocide you're committing. But why are you doing it? Are you an out-and-out villain? Some people always like the fact that Loki is a villain, but Loki's not a villain. In the books, he often is, but in the movies, he's done terrible things, but he's done them for. And I love this about this show, and I'm thinking this is where the show is going to go. You're really going to explore all the manifestations and his comprehension of what his being is, why he does what he does. A very psychological, yet very quirky exploration of the mind game. And in this first episode, you will see that I enjoy killing, I enjoy all this. Then he would later turn and realise that, no, I don't enjoy killing. But what is it that you do? Why do you do what you do? And it's because Mobius knows, look, you genuinely are the God of Mischief. And you are part of a history, a timeline. And the things that you do bring out the best in the people around you, hence creating the Avengers, hence many other events which will unfold. That's his part. And the fact that he's took himself out of it, we can't allow that. In a nice little sort of introduction as to what the world really is here. And they do it in a Jetson-style cartoon fashion, animated fashion. A bit like in Thor Ragnarok, where Thor's going down the sort of time tube thing, about learning about the Grand Master and Sakaar and all that. Like, it's done a bit like that, like Richard Hammond, John Hammond, Richard Attenborough in Jurassic Park, where it's got like, hey, we found mosquitoes, stuck in ember, and all this kind of shit. Like, it's very Jetson style animation, showing how people really should react and carry on with what they think is their real life. But he said sometimes if people commit genocide, or people don't clock in to work at the right time, that the time variance authority and the ones that rule that, who we haven't really met yet, well, we haven't met in this episode certainly, like the elders or whatever they're called, they're the ones that say, well, that's wrong, that's a misdemeanor. Go and get him, go and get her, bring them in, because that's wrong, whether he meant it or not. So he begins to realise he has a great little escape moment as well. And you know, a lovely, lovely touch. They're showing things from his past. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Now, for those of you, D.B. Cooper, the guy on the plane who passed a note to an air hostess saying, I've got a bomb. I want X amount of $1 million. I want to land here. I want another plane fueled up, ready to go, and I want a parachute. And that plane, when he took off with the money and the briefcase it was in, on that other plane, very famous real life case, he jumped out the plane, was never seen again. It's one of those famous mysteries. And also, by the way, D.B. Cooper, that's a misquote. There's no B. I forget how that came. It's just D. Cooper. But anyway, but the mythos is D.B. Cooper. And anyway, in this show, you learn that D.B. Cooper was Loki. And it was a bet he lost to Thor, and you had to go through. You don't even know why, but it's a brilliant touch. And like Mobius, Owen Wilson is like just going like, you know, he was D.B. Cooper. Wow, you know, it's just great because he has still got that drawl and that charisma which he has in any production or performance that he gives. And their interaction together, Loki's hostility towards him at first, being captured, and what the hell is this place like? Being belittled at every turn, stripped off at one point, and like, you know, and then put into like a TVA prison uniform. Oh, there's going to be a load of TVA merchandise coming. You just know this. And but he does have one escape. He manages to nick the little button that controls this thing, or controls time. So he manages to escape from his room. And some of the other prison guards who've been a bit more aggressive with him, he puts them in a continual loop, so they're getting worn out all the time. He threatens to gut this Clark like a fish. But this is a bit I didn't really get, because in a bit of sort of abstract humour, the Clark hasn't got a clue what a fish is. So he goes, what's a fish? He's like, you know, I'm going to kill you, okay? I'm going to kill you if you don't get me out of here. And that's when he discovers that the Infinity Stones are used as just paperweights all around the office part. But he'll get caught again, and he'll realise, look, you know, I've got to learn what's going on. Why do you want me? What is it you've plucked me out for? Well, I want to learn about mischief. I want to learn about why you do the things you do. Because I don't think you do them for the reasons you think you do. You want to dominion over Midgard, aka Earth. And, you know, but why? After that, happy ever after? Is that it? What do you think's going to happen after that? Are you going to be happy with that? And they said, well, you know, I'm going to give freedom to people. I'm a liberator. And it's like, it's all bullshit. It's bullshit. But it's clever bullshit, because Loki is a liar anyway. So you never know. You're never too sure if Loki's playing against him or with his interrogator. But the fact of the matter is, they need him because there is another time criminal out there who's obviously committing a lot of crimes in and out of time and disrupting time lines and time loops and whatever you want to call them. And he's a real danger. And this is what Mobius, his job is to catch these really bad ones. But he's such a likable dude at the same time, like, and so he coerces Loki. We need you for this. Well, why? Who is this one? Well, and here's the twist. The other TVA criminal is you. Huh? So Loki has another. I mean, it's not a major surprise, really, is it? You know, we already know that parallel timelines exist, clearly, but these guys are meant to be in control of all these. You step outside of that timeline where it's meant to go a certain way, you fuck that up, then they're going to come for you and try to either erase you completely, which they do to somebody else, which we see. All because you didn't take a ticket and get in queue. It's great. Again, the shades of Thor Ragnarok in it, the humour and the absurdness of Thor Ragnarok. So you've got hints of Taika Waititi. That should be a character, shouldn't it? Taika Waititi. You've got hints of his sort of absurdist sense of humour to it as well. And then you've got Philip K. Dick, and you've got the Time Lords, and you've got a lot of things collide here, and you can see the inspiration for it all quite clearly. And now, whether this exists in the comic books, I genuinely don't know. I'm under the impression that it's taken ideas from it. I know that Mephisto is a version of Loki as well, and takes the form of a cat, and you do see a cat in this, and I've seen people saying, that's Mephisto, but apparently no, it's not. It's not. Don't. So are they setting up little things, little visual clues, which are red herrings, basically? They're just going to go nowhere. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this exists in any comic book form. I've got lots of Loki stuff. I've got lots of Thor stuff, but I've not encountered this story. Not this version of it anyway. Not in this timeline. And you see footage of the Avengers. You see footage of the Dark World, Thor: The Dark World, which they played to him to make him realise what's going on there. And what does happen to him. And again, Hiddleston's performance is magnificent. He's so, this word mercurial. He spins on a dime. He's funny. He's controlling. He can coerce you, but and it's a split second later, this raw emotion and a tear in his eye as he sees what transpires, or what should have transpired. And this is the beauty of Loki. Is he a villain, or is he just, is he an anti-hero? He's both. And this show hopefully would explore why, or at least point, you don't want everything to be explained, will hint at why he does the bad things, the inadvertent genocide that he's going to cause, sort of by accident really, because he wants this and he wants that, but why does he really want that? Because it's going to give him a bit of power here. Oh dear, it's caused the end of that particular galaxy. Oops-a-daisy, I didn't really mean that, but hey, I've got this now. Mischief isn't villainy. Mischief in its true essence is it's opportunism. It's by chance. If I just take that chair from under, you're going to fall over. It's going to be funny. And a mischiever derives power from just observing the effects of their little tricks. That doesn't mean that they're not a serial killer. They're not going to go out and slit throats and commit rape and total atrocities. That's not mischief. That's heinous, criminality. Mischief is something different entirely, and that's the beauty of this character. It's hard to talk about because you're talking around a mercurial character who changes all the time. And I know that Tom Hiddleston said, I want to explore the character's shape-shifting abilities and his body fluidity. He's sexually fluid. I'm not sure that's a good idea, but that's totally in cahoots with woke and everything that's happening now, where they have said that a lot of people identify with Loki for his confused identity, his conflictions with family and his role in life, his existence, and his proclivity to do the wrong thing. And it's all very clever, but what's happened now, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, I'm just saying this is in one of those inevitabilities, the way that cinema and TV drama and writing and stuff is going, because writers now are trying to accept and broaden the horizon and bring everybody into every capacity and make sure that everybody out there feels identified with. So they're going to make him gender fluid. In a little bit, but I think in other words, he can shapeshift and be a woman. That's what he can be, and he can be probably very seductive as a woman as well. So you might see that. So it's people who are out there who are gender confused or associate with a particular sort of denomination. They're going to see themselves as a facet of Loki, so they're going to enjoy him on their level. Now, I'm not against that at all. I am not against that at all. But I just think, are you shoehorning in? Depends how it's written, depends how it's portrayed. Are you shoehorning in just like, we've got to do this to be politically, acceptable? Have we got to do this? Well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it will stick out like a sore thumb. And I'll be the first to denounce it if it goes wrong. Because it's going wrong for the wrong reasons, But so far, this first episode, I thought was fucking bang up there. It was funny, it was confusing, then it unravelled little bits, but hinted at more mysteries to come. There was action, the production values were great, the score, you're hearing the music now, is wonderful. And it's just got that tricksy, bizarre, quasi-surreal nature to it. Is it a dream? Is it hallucination? What is it? But we all wanted more of Loki. We all wanted more of him. He is by far one of the greatest, most indefinable and yet totally identifiable characters within the Marvel Universe. Only because of the movies. In the books, he's a different thing. He's a different entity. He's far more villainous, far more violent. In this, I mean, I know he takes eyes. They have a hint back to the first Avengers movie, you know, and he's taking someone's eyeball. You've got all that. His violence is alluded to, certainly. And he does threaten a lot of people, but he comes unstuck every time. It's his frustration, his inner rage. He's almost, he's pratfalling to do stuff. He's a buffoon in the same ways that Thor is an absolute buffoon. But Thor, he might come a cropper, but he's going to win the day each time. He loses an eye as well, incidentally. But you know, but it's I love this sort of this approach to these two characters. It makes them both very warm, both very charismatic, both very lovable, and one of them is meant to be a bad guy. The other one's a hero, but he's an idiot, so you love him anyway. The other one's a bad guy, but he's so flawed and yet so lovable at the same time. You never want this duality and this relationship to end. Now, albeit like Loki's now seemingly doing his own thing for these 6 episodes, but who knows? I have no idea where it's going to go next, and that's the beauty of it. I've got a week to wait, but I can't wait, I tell you. What else did I write down? I had some little notes here. Oh yeah, one thing about it which I'm not too sure I like is that the timelines are fixed. It's these elders, the ones in charge of the timelines, look, because they know the beginning, the middle, the end. They know how you die, and they show him obviously, you know. But you've stepped out of that, so that's a crime. We like things to be complete. I'm not sure I like the fact that we know that, because that sort of takes away the elements of free thought for the characters in their individual adventures and stuff. Because we know it's mapped out. Is that a bad thing? Is that a misstep? I don't know. I just didn't like it when I heard that. I thought, oh, so you're in control of everything? You know everything that's going to happen? Anyway, folks, let me know what you think about Loki episode 1. And I have been, and always shall be, your mischievous kilted So, folks, you've just seen my video on Loki, the TV show. And you know all my thoughts on that now. But what you don't know, but you're about to, is how difficult it was to get that video put together. Well, not put together, just done in the first place. You know, I get the masks ready. Oh, I've got a little intro. Oh, the snapping in. Oh, we'll do all that kind of shit there, that kind of caper. Then I'll introduce the thing, and I sit down, and I begin to emote. And you get so far into it, and then all of a sudden, Mrs. Kilt-Man just walks straight in, brazenly. She goes, "Oh, don't mind me. I'm just going to wash the car." Hmm? And then goes to the taps over there, fills buckets up and all that, like scurries on past, you know. Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, stop. Okay, let's start again. And then I waited a bit. She'd done the car, and I come in, and the house appeared to be empty. I searched the west wing, the east wing, the southern wing, the northern wing. It's cold up there. It's the attic. And I couldn't find her anywhere. I thought, oh, well, she's gone out. Because she does that, you know, she goes out. And I sneak out too. But I sneak out to the pub. I wonder where she sneaks off to. Anyway, she hadn't snuck off very far this time. Because, once again, cameras roll, snapping bullshit. and blah 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 blah, and then literally just there, just what you can't see, just 5 feet away from where I'm sitting right now, here. Well, I know what it is, but all you would have heard is. And I know what that is. That's Mrs. Kilt-Man with a shovel, and she's going along the patio, scraping off the weeds that have sprung up in the cracks of the paving stones. Jesus Christ, I have told you I am doing a video on Loki. Loki, the God of Mischief. Are you trying to be the goddess of mischief, or just the goddess of pissing me off? So I went out there and I said, how are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? Trying to do a video? Oh, I've got to do this. We have servants to do that. Why? Well, it's part of my Zumba routine. I'm doing some moves and all. So I waited. I didn't take over because I'd done my bit. I've done a wee bit of stuff out there. The pruning of the trees and the orchards, the vineyard. And so I thought, no, we'll get on with it and crack on, girl. Go on, good on you. Need a bit of exercise. Get rid of that little paunch, that little sort of baby paunch you've got developing there over the top of your garter belt. So she carried on. Then she was done. Then I begin again. Right, are we okay now? Can I start this video now? Yes. I'll be out your hair now. I'll just go on. I'll do something else. Brilliant. Go on. Off you fuck. And so snapping and all that shit. And I waffle on, blah blah blah. Get about 10 minutes into it, and then the most horrendous sneezes take place, emanating down the hall. It's a long way off, but my wife can sneeze. They're like shotgun blasts. And sometimes she does literally, it's a double-barreled shotgun. Not both barrels at once, but one barrel, then the next. Oh my God, they are terrifying to me. I've often woken up to these, and I found myself awake on the ceiling because I've been blown out of the bed by the sheer force of these cyclonic nasal explosions. So the double-barreled, it goes like, the second one's by far worse. But by that time, you're already being catapulted around the premises, bouncing off walls. And she unleashed a series of these. I just thought, okay, stop again. So, have I got to go and confront her again? Because she can't help it. It's a bit of hay fever. She's been outside and she's been scrapey and a bit of pollen, the nectar of the bees, all that sort of stuff has been going right up that little hooter of hers. So, I can't really denounce that. But God, I wanted to. Oh, I wanted to just break that little schnoz. You, but you're so cute. And it's our joint birthday in a couple of days' time, and I want a little present as well, if you please. Anyway, right, so the video that you've just seen was enabled only because she's gone out. She's actually now fucking physically left the premises. Don't hurry back, I said. Anyway, folks, I have been and always shall be kilted for your entertainment. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Keep it Celtic, and I'm gonna see you all. Namaste. Later.